channel. If you guys are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Yesenia. So for today's video, I'm going to be doing a kind of like a 101 on plants, everything that I know from plants. I do want to give you guys a disclaimer that everything that I'm going to tell you guys is things that I have learned by either watching YouTube videos or doing research about my plants or other people that I follow on Instagram that have years of experience with plants. I think I have enough knowledge where I keep my plants alive and they don't die. So if you guys want to hear my tips that I have to how to take care of your plants, then just keep on watching. So I actually have a list here because there's just so many things that I want to talk about, and if I don't make a list, I'm gonna forget, and then you guys are gonna be like, but I wanted to know about this. Before I do give you guys tips, I do want to tell you that I started really getting into plants, I think almost 2 years now. So I had a couple plants before that, but it wasn't like something that I was like, oh my god, I'm really into plants. And then last year it was just like I started buying and buying and buying plants. And then this year, well, obviously we're in quarantine, I really haven't been able to buy as much as I would want to, but I have bought a couple more added to my collection. And I feel like every year it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Right now I have maybe around 30 plants, which is not a lot. I wish I had more. Like, honestly, I feel like I don't have that big of a collection. So yeah, so I think my collection so far is good. I also want to give you guys a disclaimer that I have killed plants before, but I think that's how you learn. Like, you learn what you did wrong with that plant and you're like, okay, now I know to not do this with my next plants. The first tip I could give you guys is to research. I don't know how much I could tell you guys this. I'm probably gonna mention this so many times. You gotta research. You just can't go to a nursery or wherever you guys are going to buy a plant and then just pick a plant and be like, oh, this plant is beautiful, I like the colors, I like how it looks, let me take it home, without not knowing anything about it. And the reason why is because you need to know what kind of light they need, how much water you have to water them, you need to know where they like to be placed. And that's how a lot of plants die, because we don't know like exactly what that plant needs. Where you're like, okay, they're all the same. They're not all the same. Trust me, I have learned that. Like I mentioned before, I kill some plants because I thought like, oh, all the plants are the same. Just water them, give them some light, and I'm done. Not the case. So do a lot of research before you buy a plant. Please do a lot of research. So the second tip I could give you guys is light. Light, it is so important. I don't know how much I could say that, as well as doing research. Light is so important because depending on the plant that you buy, they might need a lot of light during the day. They might be low light, and you could put them somewhere where they're not near a window. But most of the plants, they need a lot of light. Also, another thing that you have to search is your window. Search where your window is facing. Is it south? Is it north? Is it east? Is it west? That is also really important. If you guys have south windows, you're so lucky. That's like the best lighting you could get from a south window. I wish I did. I don't. Most of my windows are northeast or northwest, which I don't get like the sun beaming inside my window. I just get like the natural lighting coming in. I wish I did get that beaming sun into my window. I could have more plants and add more to my collection. So that's really important, lighting. Know where your windows are facing. If you guys are like, okay, but how am I supposed to know like where my window's facing? Your phone, guys. Your phone will help you. There's an app in your phone. Most phones already have it, and it's the compass. Can't pronounce that word, but the compass where it says north, south, west, east, all of that. So you could just put it like, for example, my window is right here. I could just put it facing my window like this, and it will tell me where my window is located at. So as you guys could see, I have most of my plants right here. They're right next to this window, so basically they get a lot of light. That's why I have most of them in this corner. They're also getting light from over here, from the side, And then I just have one plant there because she's doing so good in that section. But yeah, they get a lot of light from this window. I wish I could put more plants here, but I have the AC, so I can't put plants there. So I have another window here. This window doesn't bring that much light, but it helps for my low light plants. So for example, right here I have a pothos. She's a low light, so that's fine. I have another pothos over here. So mainly like these plants could survive with low light, and they get enough light coming from this window. This window just kind of shoots light towards over here. As you guys can see, it looks bright. And they're happy right here. They haven't had no complaints, so that's why I have left plants here. I do have to talk about this one. This one is an elephant ear plant. So this one is next to the actual window because this plant needs a lot of light. So if I was to put her maybe over here in that corner, she would not survive. And then my monstera, I actually moved her because right now she's getting light from that window, and then they also get light from this window. It's not as much light coming in because it is like a little bit far. Sorry if I made you guys dizzy, but it's still getting light from that window. And then like I said, this is the main lighting that they're getting from here, so they're happy. Okay, so the next step is going to be water, and this is where it gets really tricky because this is how we could also kill our plants, and it's mainly one of the main reasons why our plants die is because we overwater them because we're not sure if our plants need water or not. A lot of plants, if you overwater them, they get root rot, which that means is the roots die and your plant dies. I am going to be showing you guys clips here like how to use the things that I'm talking about. So the first thing that I'm going to show you guys is this meter, which this is the water meter, and everything I show you guys here, I'm going to link it down below for you guys. Everything comes from Amazon, so it'll be easier for you guys to find it. Okay, so this is the meter that I use, and I'm going to show you guys how it works. So right now, like I could try to focus, but I don't know if it's really gonna show. But basically right now it says that is on the dry side because it's not in a plant yet. So what I do is usually like I just put it inside a plant. So I'm gonna grab one of my plants right now. I'm just gonna show you guys. For example, I'm gonna grab this plant. I mean, I usually don't take them out of the planter. I kind of do it like in here, but because I want to do a close-up and I want you guys to see. Also with time, you guys are going to notice when a plant needs water because you could just kind of tell, like, see, this one is kind of started to droop, like it looks like it's drooping. And I already know that it needs water, but let me just show you guys just how the meter works. So I just stick it in. It doesn't matter where. Just make sure that it goes almost all the way down so you could really read. So I'm gonna zoom you guys so you guys could kind of see right there. It says that it's in the dark side, so basically it already needs water. And I'll do another one so you guys could see. So now I'm gonna show you guys in my string of bananas. So you just grab your meter and like I said, you just kind of like stick it in all the way in, and then once again, it says that it's dry. Like the little mark thing is all the way to the bottom. So it needs water. And like I said, I kind of already have an idea. The other method you guys can do is if you don't have that meter, you could use your fingers. So what you can do is just, I don't like doing that because for some reason I just don't like putting my finger in the soil, but you could do that. So you're just going to put your finger all the way in at least 2 inches. And it's kind of hard, and you can kind of tell, see how it's already dry, so you already kind of tell like, okay, it needs water. But you just put your finger all the way in at least 2 inches, and then when you bring your finger out, if it's dry, see like it's dry, it's just like dry dirt, that means it already needs water. So that's another option if you guys don't have this meter. But I actually recommend this meter because it makes your life so much easier and it's so much faster. Now let me show you guys with the plant that already has water. So this plant already watered yesterday because it was already showing me signs that it needed water. So the leaves start kind of curling in like this, and that's how you know it needs water. So I'm going to show you guys what the meter shows when the plant actually has water. So you stick it in the same way. So as you guys could see, the little bar is showing me that it's moist instead of dry. And I don't like it to go all the way to the bottom where it says wet, because I feel like that's me overwatering my plant. That's my preference. I rather have my plant that is moist than overwater. So I always put my plants here in my patio, which is, I guess, patio balcony. So I have them here, and these are the only plants that need water this week. And then I just wanted to show you this ones, the ones that are longer. I lay them down this way. That way I don't damage the leaves. So I have my jar here. So this is what I use to put water, and it already has water in there. And I really like how the water just comes out easily. I usually put a little bit first, little by little, and then I start seeing if they need more water, then I put more. I kind of already have an idea of how much water each plant needs, so I know how much to put, but this is like a learning process. And I'll show you guys right now, like when you put water, you'll see it draining. So another tip I could give you guys, and this is usually how I check when to stop putting water, is that once you are putting water, you're gonna see drainage come out of here. So once you start seeing that, that's when you should stop putting water, because that means that the water went through all the soil and everything's wet. Because if you keep on putting more and more water, like I said, you're gonna just overwater your plants, so you don't want to do that. So this one that I'm mentioning right now, it hasn't drained yet. The other ones I could already tell, like, they're already draining. You can see the water like running that way. So let me keep on putting a little bit more water here, and then eventually you guys are gonna start seeing the drain is gonna come out. See, I don't know if you guys could tell, the bottom is already starting to drain a little bit, so that's already showing me that I should stop and I shouldn't put more water. Other thing is, sometimes when you're putting water, you don't see the drainage right away. If you don't see the drainage right away, then you keep on putting more water, thinking that like, oh, it doesn't have enough water. So just wait like a couple seconds, maybe like a minute or so, and then see if it starts draining. If it starts draining, that means you stop putting water. If it still hasn't drained, then that means that you need to put more water. So for example, this big plant right here, it was not draining right away, so I just waited a couple of seconds or a minute or so, and then now I see the water that is draining. So good, I'm gonna stop there and I'm not gonna put more water. But if you guys are still worried that you probably underwater your plants, or you're not sure if it has enough water, then you could use your meter again, and that way you could just double check. Let me just show you guys. So then I put the meter inside again, and then let me just do a close-up. You guys can kind of see right there, the line is in the middle, and sometimes it does go a little bit more where the wet side is, so like it gets more wet, but that's fine. That just means that then I have to wait a little bit longer until I water this plant again. But this one is basically where I like it to be, so I'm good. I'm not gonna put more water on this plant. So that's another tip. You know, you guys could use your meter again, just if you just want to make sure that you didn't overwater your plant, or that you didn't underwater your plant. Another thing I like to do, I like to use a water bottle like this. This one's bigger than a Mits water bottle, and I like to just spray all the leaves like this, like really spray them, and I feel like that also helps you to clean the leaves. So I just like doing this when I water them. So there you go. I already water these plants today. Like I said, this is the only plants that I needed to water. So now they're all drenched in water, like the leaves and everything, but that helps for them to get clean, also to kind of remove a little bit of the dust and all of that. So now what I do, I leave them outside here for almost a whole day. Usually I do this in the morning, and then at night I just put them inside, just because like I mentioned, a lot of the plants take a little bit longer until they drain. So I don't like to put them back inside because I have them in a shelf. I don't want them to get wet, so I just wait until they're completely dry from the bottom. So now that we got how to water our plants, now that we know how much light they need, how can we make them grow a little bit faster? You know, because I'm like those people that I'm always looking at my plants like, are you growing? Are you growing? I don't see no growth. Like, I need you to grow like this. I want them to grow so quick, which I don't know why I'm just like so obsessed with them that I'm like, oh, there's a new leaf. Oh my god, can you give me another new leaf already? Like, I want more. So another tip that I could give you guys is fertilizer. So there's different kinds. This one's liquid. These ones are like, I don't know, they're called plant food spikes. They look like this. They're like little, I don't know how to explain them. Honestly, when I saw this first, I was like, that looks like food for rats. You know, when you kill them, it kind of reminds me of that, but it's for your plants. It's not for to kill rats. So there is different ones, and they all do the same. It's just your preference. I have both of them. This one, the liquid one, it's the one that I use the most, and the reason why, because it's easier for me to just kind of spray into my plants, and it tells you in the back how much you should put in your plants. Like if it's a small plant, just do 1 spray. If it's a bigger plant, do 2 sprays. I do this every once or twice a month during the growing season, which is like spring to almost fall. That's when they're really growing, and that's when I use this. When it comes to winter months or, you know, fall weather, I don't really use it as much. Maybe I'll do it once a month, because I know that it doesn't matter like if I put a lot of this, my plants are still gonna grow slow because, you know, it's the cold weather. Another tip I could tell you guys is to dust your plants. I know this is something that I think is not common to talk about. Like, you have to dust them, especially if they have big leaves. If you don't remove the dust with time, they're not gonna get enough light into their leaves, so they're not gonna grow, and they're not gonna have, for example, for all those plants that have big leaves, they're not gonna have bigger leaves. They're, with time, probably gonna come out smaller and smaller because they're not getting enough light, since there's so much dust. And it's super easy. Just get any cloth you guys have, any soft cloth, just with water. I know some people use soap. I haven't tried that yet. I'm a little bit scared actually of doing that. So for now, I just do it with water, and it helps. It removes the dust, and it's super easy. So I just do that. This tip is also really important, because with time, they get bugs. How do you get rid of bugs? Oh my god. I think that's how I kill a lot of my plants. I didn't really overwater them. I started getting bugs, and I didn't know what to do at first. I was just like, there's bugs in it. Okay, bye. It's gonna die. It's gonna die. There's nothing else I can do. It's gonna die. And I wouldn't do nothing more. Like, I would let it die because I didn't know how to deal with it. Like, I just didn't know. So far, my plants haven't got bugs in a while. I don't want to jinx it. Knock on wood. I don't really have real wood around me, but I've been bug free for over a year. Yeah, I'm so proud of myself. So proud of myself. The thing that did help me when I had bugs and other plants before was this big boy right here. This is called neem oil. I think that's how you pronounce that, neem oil. So this, let me just read what it says, okay? So this controls black spot, powdery mildew, rust, spider mites, aphids, I don't know what that is, white flies, and other insect pests. This will help a lot. Like, a lot of people rave about this. Like, this is a must to have. You just basically spray it on your plants where they have insects, and with time it will kill them. There's instructions in the back. I'm not gonna go too much in detail with this because I don't want to give you guys bad information. Just get the bottle, read the instructions, really easy. Like I mentioned, just kind of spray it and it will really kill your bugs. Like this will kill your bugs. Now for some reason, plants attract a lot of flies. I don't know how, but they do. Like the little, not like regular big flies, but like the little ones. I think they're called fruit flies. I don't know, but these are a must. A must, a must, a must. These are called fly traps and they're little sticky butterflies. And I have them in most of all my plants, my bigger plants, because I noticed the little plants don't really get flies around them, but the big plants do. So this, and you guys will see in the clips, they work so good. Like you wouldn't think there's so many little flies in your home because you don't really see them because they're so little. And then when you see like the sticky butterfly and then you see, oh my god, that's how many flies there were in my apartment. I open a lot my back door and I think like a lot of them come inside and they stay in here and they don't go nowhere. They go to my plants and that's how they could get bugs. The last tip I could give you guys is remember, not all of your plants are gonna survive. And it's okay, you know? Some plants, they just don't go with your home. Some plants are really difficult to stay alive. I have learned that and now I know to not buy them. For example, ivy plant. I know everyone says it's such an easy plant. I can't. That plant does not like me. She does not want to be in my home. I have bought I think like 4 of them and they all die. Either from bugs or they don't like the light where I put them and I have moved them around and they just don't like me. So I don't buy the plant no more. And it's okay. It's not meant to be for my home. So just know that. Don't think you're a bad plant parent if your plants don't survive. Also don't do things that you know they're gonna kill them, like overwatering them or putting them where there's no light. Like I mentioned so many times in this video, do your research. If you really want to get into plants or if you already have some plants, do your research. I mean, they're so beautiful and they could really grow to be super big and they're so good for, I think, your mental health. Like honestly, I wake up and I see them and I just feel so happy to see them. I hope you guys like this video. I know it's probably a little bit long and maybe I talk too much because I really get into like talking about plants. Like that's like my new thing now. If you guys like this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys thought, like which tip was the most helpful for you guys. And don't forget to subscribe down below. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye my loves.